the Namani Ganga project, pollution level remains high. The National Green Tribunal has issued several orders aimed at curbing pollution in Ganga, including fines on polluting industries and directive to local governments to improve waste management. The effective resolution of environmental dispute is crucial for the growth of sustainable economy in India. Another point which I want to discuss is mediation. It is pertinent to note that the National Green Tribunal appointed a high-level committee to mediate in the Yamuna River pollution case involving multiple stakeholders, state governments, industries, and local communities. The mediation process facilitated dialogues among the parties and led to a consensus on measures to reduce water pollution in the rivers. The success of mediation in many cases demonstrate the potential of ADR mechanism in resolving complex disputes. The new Mediation Act 2023 in India has made many provisions for out-of-court settlements, and mediation is made compulsory to be tried at least once under the new act. Mediation gives a new and a win-win situation to all the parties who are litigating for years before the courts. Thus, by way of mediation, burden of the courts and the judiciary is lessened, working towards the goal of legal sustainability. At the end, the conclusion is this: the interception of recent Supreme Court judgments, CSR goal, ESG principle, and the mediation offers a comprehensive framework for addressing the climate changes. We should also learn from the other countries. For example, in Germany, they have Renewable Energy Sources Act, EEG. Germany's Renewable Energy Source Act has been pivotal in transporting the country's energy landscape. Introduced in 2000, it is designed to encourage generation of electricity from renewable sources like wind, solar, and biomass. United States has an act called CAA of 1970, and it is a comprehensive federal law in the United States designed to regulate air emission from both stationary and mobile sources. Japan has a basic law on establishing a sound material cycle society, and it is based on Sound Material Cycle Society Act of 2000, provides the foundation for Japan's policies on waste management, recycling, and transition to a circular economy. It works on the principle of 3R principles. The act is based on the principle of reduce, reuse, and recycle, 3Rs, aiming to minimize waste generation, promote the reuse of material, and enhance recycling processes. As we continue to strengthen the Afro-Asian dialogue on climate issues, let us also ensure that we reach out to the North with a unified voice, advocating for global cooperation and shared responsibilities. The climate crisis is a global challenge and requires a global response, and it is through forums like this that we can make meaningful progress. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity and listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Nandini Gore, who's a senior partner at Karanjawala and Co. She gave us a very elaborate detail on how they come in with the legal minds, and she charged on various issues, including environmental degradation, issues to do with pollution, and also she brought in another perspective of how they have been able to sometimes intervene with regards to forcing the government to take critical steps with regards to climate change management. Ladies and gentlemen, my panel is drawn from a very diverse background. We have a diplomat from foreign service. We also have new technologies experts dealing with robotics, and we have Ma'am who's a legal practitioner, and they have interrogated the topic at hand, and you were listening to them. I will only take 3 questions, and then they will respond, and we will close our session. I will go once. twice, 3 times, and the House, okay, there's a hand up there. Gentlemen? Yeah. It's Mr. Moses.
This question is for, the panel if you want to, but if you legislate, you do things, for instance, Madam Gore was talking about legislation for like sanitary towels and things like that, and it has been done in all the High Court premises. So how does it translate to the rest of the world? There are another, 2 billion people waiting outside your High Court premises. So does it ever reach there, or unless there is a political will which shall be translated into social will? And the other question is, like people like from Zimbabwe, what is your experience in these matters? Can you legislate and order everyone to be mindful of environment or this thing? And there is one gentleman here from the Chinese embassy, Mr. Lim. Can you tell us how China achieves this? When you go to Beijing in the old days, and we all used to shed tears because there was so much pollution at the airport. And now it is so well, it's just pollution has been removed. Where did it go? How did they do it? Maybe we can get those answers.
Thank you. I'll first of all give the pleasure to ma'am.
So my answer will be this: the court is doing its job, the judiciary is doing its job, but the motto of our country's legal system is to set our house in the right direction first and then look at the world. So they have been doing a lot of stricter laws are there, but for example now in India, especially in Delhi, every year we hear that next time this winter session air pollution will be less, but in my own house come September and I am going to put air purifiers and other things in every room because there is no legislation, nobody is hearing. The government cannot control the Punjab issue and the burning of stubble. So things are improving, but it's all in the hand of the judiciary and the bureaucrats and the corruption in our country. That is what I can say. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone from my panel wants to?
I just wanted to add that there are situations today in the world where no legal frameworks exist. We have no legal framework for ChatGPT. We have no legal framework, internationally accepted legal framework for internet, and we have no binding legal international frameworks for climate change either. The only commitment which was legally binding was the Paris one. Even that is not being respected by the people who have signed that agreement. So in my own view, it is for the civil society to now rebel against their countries, against their leaders, against their governments, against their societies, to make sure that they are protected. That is the last pillar which is now left in the world. There is a global academy of law and technology education research in Hyderabad in India, which has 150 experts who are sitting and trying to discuss how to develop a legal framework for situations in which there is no legal framework existing in the world at large. Because the Americans are busy, the United Nations Security Council is vertically split, the General Assembly is at a loss in the United Nations. Who is responsible in this world now? Nobody. No government is willing to take any risk. No regional grouping is willing to take any risk. It's time for the people of this world to take their future into their own hands and start questioning their government. Thank you.
Excuse me.
May I just respond to that? There is, in my opinion, and
Yes, in the past, around the city of Beijing, a lot of people made life. They were depending on the factories. So the factories made a lot of pollutions around Beijing. So in order to remove the pollutions, the government of China removed the factories around Beijing. So Beijing was much less pollutions. So that is why when you go to Beijing airport today, Beijing's sky is more clear than before. But Chinese government made a lot of they endeavor to remove the factory to other area around Beijing, and we have to let the people living there to make life, to how to say, earn the money from to make their life, to have money from other sources, and it's a very difficult job for Chinese government. But I think up to now we are successful to remove the factory and make the people living around the Beijing city to have much more